Hi, good morning. Coming at you a little bit late, but thank you so much for hanging around and tuning in to our live streams here at Rogers Gardens. My name is Sarah Smith, and I'm a horticulturist here at Rogers Gardens. And I love so much talking to you about all the different fun things we have going on at the nursery. It is constantly changing and evolving here at Rogers Gardens. Every month is like a brand new month with something new and neat and fun and interesting. And of course, we have all the holiday stuff out right now. So we are in full swing for all the holidays. We have tons of beautiful, beautiful poinsettias here at Rogers, and we have really unique, different poinsettias and grown in a really unique, different kind of way, which is really amazing. So back in the day when I went to school, one of the classes that I took was growing poinsettias for a season. And so I know a lot about the different kinds of ways to grow poinsettias. And typically a poinsettia that you're going to get in any kind of store is going to have one stalk where they pinch it and it has multiple flowers. So what that does is that makes the flower head, which is actually not a flower. The leaves that you see here are bracts. The flower is just a little funny thing in the middle that when you look at it kind of looks like a little bird beak. That's actually the flower, but we're going to talk about this like it's a flower, even though technically it's not. The flower is this middle part here, but when you pinch them, you're going to get a bunch of different little flower heads on it, but they'll be a lot smaller. When you look at our poinsettias here, and these are a little bit precariously set here, there is multiple plants in the pot. So when you look at the stem here, instead of just being one stem, it's usually two or three. So it makes for a really big, beautiful head, makes for a really full plant, and it makes for not just flowers on the top where you look at the top of it and you have, 3 or 4 different ones. You have all kinds of ones underneath it as well. So growing poinsettias is definitely an art. That's why a lot of classes, when you're growing poinsettias, when you're doing classes for horticulture, they have you grow poinsettias because they need a certain amount of ratio from night to light, which is not natural for this time of year. So you have to force it in a nursery where you actually keep it covered and they can't have any kind of light at nighttime. So it's really kind of an interesting thing how we have to grow the poinsettia special by covering them up, covering the greenhouses for a certain number of hours at nighttime to get them to flower in time for Christmas. So if you've ever kept a poinsettia and planted it in the garden, which you can do, you can grow poinsettias here in Southern California. They grow very, very well, native to Mexico area. They don't flower during Christmas time, so they flower at a different time of year, which is kind of interesting, that they've become kind of a Christmas thing. And native to Mexico, and was a beautiful plant down in that area, and Mr. Poinsettia came in and kind of said, I declare that I found this plant on my own. Well, he didn't. It's been around forever and ever. So there's a really kind of rich cultural history to the poinsettia, which is really, really interesting. But I want to show you all the different varieties we have here and show you how to take care of them and how to keep a plant like this in your house happy and nice. Even though it might only be for a short season, or you plant it in your garden. And then I'll answer all your questions too at the end when we get to the end. But look at all these different really cool varieties. This was a variety, this one here called Monet. This was a variety that I used to grow, and in this one little pot, 4 plants. That's really pretty amazing, and not anything you're gonna find anywhere else. So this variety is called Monet. I love this one so much. It almost looks like it's been spray painted. The bracts closer to the middle of the true flower get to be more and more red, and as they filter down they become a little bit lighter and splattered, so that's why it's got the Monet name. I love this one so much. This is so pretty and just near and dear to my heart because it was a variety that we used to grow way back in the day when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. So I absolutely love this one. We have these different pink ones. Look at this pink one. The first time I saw this one was not on the table. Someone had pulled it and they had it up kind of near the registers, and I walked past it and I looked down and I thought, wow, that's a really weird fake one. And then as I came back by, I was wearing my sunglasses. As I came back by, I picked it up and went, oh my gosh, I've never seen this color before. So pretty. So different kinds of pinks, but This one's so technicolored and so perfect looking that I truly thought it was a fake one when I first went by it. Little tiny bracts near the base of the flower part, which I think are really, really neat and really sweet and kind of precious. This is a typical pink variety that you usually see. The nice thing is you'll see 50% off on these. So these make a really great kind of run in. You got all your Christmas stuff out and you have a space kind of that needs something. Come in, grab a poinsettia, throw it into a really beautiful decorative pot. Boom, you have something really awesome. Or come in and buy it for a friend. Take it for, hostess gift. Everybody loves a poinsettia. It absolutely screams holidays. It absolutely screams Christmas. All the different kinds of colors. Poinsettias even in other countries are actually used for like Mother's Day gifts and stuff too, which is kind of interesting, especially when we get into these kind of colors. And then look at these tiny, tiny little pots. So we have all different kinds of sizes. This one in front of me is huge. All kinds of mixed white and red flowers in here. Giant porch kite that you just put on the front of your porch. Boom, you're done. Throw some lights around it. Absolutely gorgeous. So we have them all different sizes. And then we have these little itty bitty ones, and they're so cute. Look at these teeny, teeny, tiny ones in these tiny little pots. Aren't these adorable? Of course, in this, there is only one flower. You couldn't get more than that in this little pot. $9.99 for these. So cute. So adorable. Something you could just throw in something tiny. I have some tiny little pots that I've saved from Christmas. I was putting my Christmas stuff out last weekend, and I have a couple little pots. I'm like, what am I going to do in these? And these little tiny pots are so perfect. I love this little splattered one. Kind of looks like a jingle bell. It doesn't tell me on the outside what the variety is, but I love these little speckled ones like this. And then we have the pinks also as well, and the small little pots too. So there's all kinds of different beautiful, beautiful colors going on here. All different kinds of sizes, from tiny, like even this in a cute little pot, couple of them down the middle of your table for, your holiday parties and for dining, because it's nice and short and won't be in your way. That's what you're always looking for when you put something on your table. You don't want to have to be talking to your friends like this over anything. So these would be perfect in cute little pots lining down the center of your table. We have all different kinds of colors. This one's going home with me because I think the color is so pretty on this, but all kinds of sizes, all kinds of varieties. Now, when it comes to taking care of poinsettias, they like it kind of on the cooler side, and they like some humidity. So you think about our houses during the winter time, and we're definitely pumping up those heaters, running those fireplaces. So just be uber aware of that. You want to make sure that they stay moist, kind of like a wrung out sponge, but not soggy. They definitely do not want to be sitting in a tray of their own water, which is so common and almost everybody does, because you usually have them in your house. You usually have them in a pot with no drainage. You're watering that sucker every single week, and then the water's building up in the bottom and they get root rot like that. And that's when all of a sudden you look at it and it's dead as a doornail. It happens super, super fast when you have root rot. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is, if you have it in a pot with no drainage, like this one comes in a little pot with no drainage. However, inside here is a tiny little pot. If I can pull it out, I don't know if I'll be able to get this one out. It's shoved in here too hard. But there's a tiny little pot inside. You're going to tip that over, pull that out, water it so the water comes through, and then throw it back into this little plastic pot or whatever kind of container you have at home. If you've got it in a cute little pot that doesn't have any drainage in the bottom, take it out of that, water it in your sink, let it totally drain through, and put it back into that pot. And you want to do that at least once a week. They need a pretty decent amount of water, especially if you've got heaters and stuff going. If you don't do that and you have it outside, it doesn't need that much water, so you can be a lot slower on it. Just make sure you touch it, you feel it. It's not soggy, but it feels like a really well wrung out sponge. That is the happy place for a poinsettia. No sitting in water. If you have it near a heater, be really, really careful about your watering. Feel it all the time. Make sure it doesn't get too dried out and crispy on the ends. Maybe rethink that spot and put something else there. But that's the main way of keeping them happy and nice. If you're getting yellow leaves, which everybody's always like, oh, I'm getting yellow leaves on my poinsettia. You're overwatering it, or it's not draining well, or the water is somehow staying clogged up inside there. So that's the big key to keeping them happy and not getting those yellow leaves, is by making sure that the water is draining well. I'm going to set this guy over here because he doesn't want to stay on the table. So that's the key to keeping them really happy. They want really bright but indirect sunlight. So if it's right by your window but there's a sheer curtain there, totally fine. But they want to have some protection from getting too hot. We're pretty cloudy most days, but you never know. We get that weird day in between these kind of rainy days where all of a sudden it's really hot and the sun is shining hard. The winter sun here is always really bright and really strong. So you want to make sure that you don't have it up against a glass window with no protection and we get that random hot day. And then you look at the backside of it about 3 days later. It takes a while for burn to show up on plants and you're like, this one side is all kind of scorched looking. It'll usually happen in the middle of the leaves. You'll see kind of a weird brown spot. That means it got too much sun, too much direct sun one of those days. So just be careful with that too. So we have all kinds of fun varieties. Most of them are all 50% off, so it's a really great deal. So if you haven't bought your poinsettias or you already did, and you're like, you know what, I didn't get that one pink one that I really wanted, come on in because a lot of them are discounted. Not every single one is discounted, but most of them are. Come in because we've got tons of them. And if you're running to a house and you need something quick and easy and something fun and festive, this is a really great thing to give to a friend. We have all kinds of beautiful pots that you can throw it in. So there's a great opportunity to get a friend a really nice gift, a hostess gift for a holiday party or something like that as well. And if we have any questions, I'll take those now. If you came into this late and you're like, oh man, I'm watching this and it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, you can throw those questions down below and we will answer those for you as well if we don't get to them live. So do we have any questions? Yeah, let's go for it.
If so many plants in a small pot, how do they survive with little soil?
So the way that these are actually grown is they're usually grown from plugs. So they give you these nice little tiny plugs, and poinsettias can be pretty crowded. It's pretty amazing. So poinsettias are actually a euphorbia, which is nuts when you think about it. So the euphorbia family is one of the biggest family of plants that there is. So cacti, those big, tall, skinny cacti, most of those are euphorbias related to this, like very directly related, which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. There's all different types of euphorbia. So they can actually handle it. Will they be happy in a pot like that for the rest of their life? Absolutely not. So if you want to keep it and keep it for years to come, you're definitely going to have to up-pot it or plant it in the ground. So, but for temporary, just from now to Christmas or now to New Year's, they'll absolutely be fine. For months, honestly, in this size pot, they can handle that. But for the rest of their lives, absolutely not. So, but if you want to put it into a bigger pot, it'll be super happy and nice and full and not pinched, which is really nice. Not pinched in the traditional way like the single varieties that you find in most of the like grocery stores and things like that. So you'll have a nice, fuller, stronger plant for sure. So they're called florist grown is the way we do it. Although most places don't even sell them like that, even a lot of the florists, because most growers don't grow them that way. So it's a really kind of special thing to have something like that that's grown in a more full, kind of lush, pretty full way. That's why they just always look, even the tiny ones look so great because they're not pinched, which is pretty amazing. So if you have any more questions, like I said, just throw those down below and we can get to those later. And thank you so much for tuning in. We have so many fun things going on here at Rogers. The carolers are here. They're walking through the nurseries, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see them through the nurseries. Absolutely amazing. So fun. They do all kinds of really cool songs. So I love playing Stump the Carolers because they always ask for a suggestion for a song. So if you can think of a really cool Christmas song, come in and request it from them. We've got the train up and running right now. The train garden is so cute and so much fun. The kids absolutely love it. And there's all kinds of lights. We're open up till 8 o'clock at night right now, and the lights are just absolutely beautiful. We have all kinds of fresh wreaths and garland. All the Christmas trees are here, little petite trees. So if you want to get a tree for your office or a tree for like a little kid's room, we got cute little petite trees already decorated up, some of them in cute little pots with ornaments and everything. So bam, perfect, place it, done. Cute for even like a front porch as well. They come with lights, and then we have the regular ones too. If you want to decorate them yourself, we have those available as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. Come in, say hi, check out the loveliness going on here right now. Go have dinner at the farmhouse, check out the coffee cart up there, and be well and be safe and happy gardening, everybody. Bye.